There's no zero.
It's a good show.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is. Otherworldlyculture.com. The Men of Milk Rock.com. An umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies, the 1981 Cannonball Run and the 2006 Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Starring Burt Reynolds, Nathan Basil, Farrah Fawcett, Angela Goethals, Zelda Rubinstein, Dean Martin, and Vicky Regal. Now 2 guys who compete in their own Cannonball Run each year when they take a road trip to Horror Realm. Tim Kretschmann and Jeff Miller.
You remembered your name and everything. That was awesome.
I wrote it down.
Okay, good. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to this show. I'm the vamp. He's the ump. He loves sports, so he assigns me sports movies to watch, which is terrible and should be considered a form of torture. And I assign him wonderful, lovely horror films because I'm a horror movie fan. And Jeff, just so you know, Jeff is the actual originator of the designated hitter rule in the major leagues. He suggested it one day to the commissioner at the time, stating that pitchers can't hit anyway. That was the actual beginning.
Okay.
You know that because you were there.
Okay, I was, and then I spoke to someone. So good.
Right. The commissioner.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it was Bud, wasn't it?
I hope it wasn't Bud. Bud is terrible. You know what? I'm trying to stay positive.
Okay, we're staying
I'm trying
positive.
to stay positive.
I'm sorry. I didn't know Bud was a hot
bring up.
button.
He's terrible. Come on.
Okay.
Who has an all-star game and it's a tie score and you're like, we'll make it a tie. Who does that?
Hey, look at the chat room right now.
I don't-
Somebody likes your T-shirt. Why don't you tell them about it, Jeff? See? Nice T-shirt, Jeff.
Oh, Swobetic.
Right there.
Yeah, so no, the Milwaukee Milkmen are playing tonight.
Yeah.
I'll get into that during my sports update. But,
the sports update coming up later on in today's show. That's a tease, ladies and gentlemen.
And by then, I'll probably have an updated score. But right now, the Milkmen are up 1-0 over the Red Hawks.
Wow. Red Hawks.
Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah, and I hear they're all evil.
They are.
I hear they're evil, and they need to be beaten and probably murdered.
No, do you know, though, that a group of crows are called a murder?
Yes, I do know that.
Isn't that pretty cool?
I named them that. It was in 1623. I remember the day quite well. All right. We were still speaking Old English at the time, like the beginning of the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer. Vannet april mit de Schulzote, de drachte match, and pussy de nurota. Van Zephyrus with his weight they bread. How long would you like me to go?
Go as long as you can. Yeah. You're just making just gibberish anyway. So
it is
not.
Right. People are going to say, oh my God, I remember having learned that in high school for Mr. Elliott.
Okay.
Mr. Elliott is the teacher.
I had Senora Ronan and I took Espanol, Senor.
Oh.
Espanol.
See, we're learning things about Jeff today.
But if you see two crows together,
that's
attempted murder.
Oh,
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty
all right.
Good.
You know what's awesome?
Me.
Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. That's the lovely film you get to talk about today.
And which are you talking about?
I get to talk about the Cannonball Run, not from the 70s, early 80s.
81.
I figured that was a late 70s.
Did you
movie.
really?
I did.
But you figured.
It feels like late 70s.
Yeah, 79, 81, that's all the same. I mean.
Honestly, I was surprised to see it was in the 80s. I was.
I don't think I was.
think of Burt Reynolds as a 70s guy.
Okay.
But you know what I know isn't a 70s guy?
Who? What?
The worst segue of all time? It would be our friend Jeff Miller, who is going to be telling us. It's terrible. Yeah. I know it is. But this is Jeff Miller.
Yep, that's me.
And
Go Milkman.
He's going to tell us something.
And if you want to get in contact with me, you can
go to jeff@otherworldlyculture.com.
That's something how everything is backward. That just blows my mind, but I'll get it anyways.
You don't need to get it.
I don't. Anyways, I was assigned Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. So what? I had no idea what I was getting into here.
I was pretty good at keeping that.
You were, and the thing of it is that I know that you made reference to that. I check things out beforehand on the IMDb, but I don't. I really don't, because I want to go into it, and I'm glad that I went into this.
And this is a movie that surprises.
This is really cool, and I won't. I'm gonna do the best I can to review this, but I'm not even gonna bury the lead. I'm gonna tell you right now that I really enjoyed it. So let's get into this. All right.
This is a hard one to review. I'm gonna be very entertained, because it's like, what can I say and what should I not say? Because not a lot of people have seen this film outside of real horror fans.
Yeah, I'm not a real horror fan, but because I'm assigned it.
We're getting there.
Well, if they'd all be like this, I could. So here's what's going on. So Behind the Mask, so it's kind of a spoof off of Behind the Music, all those VH1 type of shows where you got the backstory of all the bands like Leonard Skinner, Bob Seger, and so on. So this is Behind the Mask. This is behind how Leslie Vernon came to be. And Leslie Vernon is he's a wannabe killer, because I don't even know how to describe this, because it's so neat, and it's also like the Blair Witch Project, because it's like a documentary type thing.
Right.
So this woman, and I'm gonna get her name. So Taylor Gentry. Yeah. She's the main female lead. She is a grad student, and she goes there with
almost certainly an albino.
Not even close. But I've seen her in other things before, and I'll tell you about that later. Albino. Yeah.
I'm sorry. So she is very pale. Well, I think she's a vampire.
But there was no sun.
She doesn't come to the classes with me.
It looks like this thing was shot in the fall. So I mean,
it does.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like there was any tanning beds around. But anyways, so she's there talking about horror,
almost certainly,
like all the serial killers. So she mentions Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason and Freddy. She mentions all these guys, and actually they interweave a bunch of this in the movie. For example, Kane Hodder, who's in the movie, who is Jason for 3 of the movies, right? 3 of the Jason movies, right?
4.
Okay, 4?
Maybe 4, yeah.
He's actually walking into the house on
Wait a minute. We have a chat room. Somebody looked it up. I think it's 4.
Okay. So
we got to put him to work.
I know.
Sometimes.
So he's walking actually into the house on Nightmare on Elm Street, and they're doing all these things from the other horror movies. Actually, Robert Englund is
England.
Okay, England.
Yep.
That's how much I watch horror movies. He, who is Freddy Krueger, he's in this movie. They make references to all different names in here, and because I've been watching horror movies, I picked up on a lot of them. I mean, I actually picked up on quite a few. And
you've been at conventions.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of, the word I believe is merch. Are you familiar with it? Where they have merch with all these names.
I love that
images and stuff.
That guy was great. Scott Wilson, who plays Eugene.
Yeah,
I thought his character was really awesome. Actually, Nathan Basil, the one who plays Leslie Vernon, the alleged serial killer, the wannabe. I want to call him a wannabe. You know who he reminded me of?
The slasher in training.
I like that. Slasher in training. Yeah. So you know what he reminded me? He reminded me of a cross between, John Henson from Dog Soup?
Yes.
And Jim Carrey. I could not get that. Look, right there. I think of Jim Carrey when I see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that too. I mean, I can see
very rubber faced.
I could see Jim Carrey playing this part, or even John Henson for that matter. But I really enjoyed his character in here. I enjoyed how they made things happen. So what happens here is they follow Leslie Vernon around, and he's describing how he's going to go ahead and murder these people. And another thing that'll make you think
he talks about doing cardio so that when people turn around, he looks like he's walking, but then he's got to run like a son of a bitch to keep up with them. And, I'm sorry, like a son of a miller.
Wow. And what about that mask? That mask is ridiculous. That's an awful mask.
I'm trying to think why.
I know.
I think it's supposed to be kind of scarecrow-like, because
they make reference
legend is that he's kind of a scarecrow coming out of the farm field and that, and with the scythe. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Does it look scarecrow?
No, I think of another Jim Carrey movie, The Mask. I really do. I mean,
it's more like The Mask than is the Scarecrow, because at no point did I want to sing da, 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 if I only had a brain.
There you go.
Da, 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 da,
So back to this movie. So what he's gonna do is he takes this film crew and Taylor Gentry around, and he's telling them what he's gonna do. He's looking for a virgin, and they're gonna have a party at the house where he was born or lived or whatever. And it also, like I said, reminded me of Scream. If you remember in the first Scream, you have the one character saying, well, this is what happens in all horror movies. You don't want to be alone by yourself, and so on. Tim?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you agree?
I'm keeping track of something here. We got new people in the chat room.
Well, say hello to everybody.
Everybody.
See, 3 Fridays. I was right. Get out of here with this. Anyways.
3 Fridays?
Yep.
That can't be right.
Yeah, you know what? I'm bringing
7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, because he was on the television set in 10.
No, 10 is outer space.
I'll
check that.
You know what? I went to
that.
I went to the Kane Hodder panel, and I know the answer to that. So, anyways, Zelda Rubinstein is in this movie.
He throws this in my face every time.
Zelda Rubinstein.
If you were my friend, you wouldn't throw this in my face.
Zelda.
One time I went to a Brewer game and I was right behind dugout.
Cool.
I don't throw that in your face.
That's awesome. I went to a Brewer game.
He throws this in my face.
Let's see. I went to some Brewer games and I was actually in the clubhouse. So. So, anyways.
All right, go on.
Zelda. Let's talk about Zelda Rubinstein.
Zelda Rubinstein, all 4 feet of her.
She's the midget in the movie, and midget's not a swear word.
Yeah, but I wanted to ring.
It's a legitimate doctor's term.
Oh, okay. Midge?
No, midget. Like they're a midget. I think
it's dwarf.
It depends. I mean, I think it makes a difference with their hands.
But she doesn't have a beard, right?
No. I mean, if the hands are bigger or something, there's something with hands.
I don't know if she's officially or if she's just very short.
We'll just call her a DeVito.
Okay.
So the DeVito in the movie.
The DeVito.
This is actually her last movie of her life.
Really?
Yeah. She was in Under the Rainbow, and she was in some other movies with Chevy Chase.
Okay. Have you ever seen Under the Rainbow?
I have. I had HBO as a kid. I saw it.
That movie is almost impossible to find today, but I did find it.
Cool.
So it's really hard. It's out on YouTube, folks.
But what you will recognize her from is Poltergeist. She's the person in Poltergeist. That's where
this house is clean.
She uses the same voice in this movie, and
well, it's her voice.
Okay. So, anyways, no, I did.
What? She used somebody else's voice box in other movies?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Anyways, so they
demented.
So anyways, Leslie Vernon takes these people on this whole like trek of what he's going to do,
right.
And it turns out that really who he's going I can say this.
Yeah.
Who he's really going after is Taylor.
Well, that I wouldn't have said, but okay.
Okay, so he's not really going after Taylor, but anyways, so he's not. I mean, I just said that as a joke. Anyways, I don't even know.
He spoiled it. That's okay.
Well, not really, because you don't know.
No, that's like a big spoil.
Well, because she's a virgin, and if you don't tell that, then nobody knows why.
What? She's an albino. Of course she's a virgin.
No, but the reason why he goes after her is because she's, well, don't tell him, forget it. Anyways. So,
yeah. So let's not talk about that.
But there's still so much more to this.
This is a great movie.
It's a really great movie because it's not even scary. So I'm not saying that to be different, but to me, I was entertained.
Slasher films in general aren't overly scary.
Yeah, they're
gory. And this one I don't think was extremely gory.
No.
But what this movie does is it's kind of a movie in 2 acts.
Yep.
You have the documentary.
Yep.
And then you have when things kind of slide off the rails. We'll put it that way.
And the curious thing about that is I wanted to really enjoy this movie, and I did. But I got into my own head because...
Big surprise.
The beginning of the movie, like he said, is a documentary. Shot like a documentary.
Yeah.
But then, who's shooting all the other stuff?
Well, did you notice, though, that the film looked different when it went away from the documentary style. So they're kind of showing that this really wasn't filmed. This is like reality now.
Oh, I gotcha. All right. Well, that makes sense.
I liked it because obviously in a slasher film, if you were going to do it first person, it'd be a lot of, oh my God, here he is. Dead.
That's true.
You know,
they would kill the cameraman.
So it was good that they went to a more omniscient when those things were going on.
I'm trying to figure out, though. So you're saying this is a slasher movie then?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it sort of seems like...
It's definitely in the tradition of Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Psycho, you know, all those films.
But those first three that you mentioned, I don't ever want to watch. But I can watch Happy Death Day. I can watch this. I mean,
Right.
where's the difference?
I know that.
Okay, sure.
That's the difference.
Anyways.
I don't think we've talked about Halloween before because you really are scared of that one. I think you're scared of that one because it happens in the suburbs and it's like, this shit could happen around here.
Right.
I think that's why you don't like that one.
Well, yeah, because they show him creeping around the backyard.
Honestly, Friday the 13th, I don't think you'd have a problem with it.
I had a problem with it. I saw part of it one time. And
the first one?
Yes.
We'll give you one of the other ones, like Jason X. You'll be fine.
Am I gonna laugh?
That one probably. It's a lot of fun.
Jason X. Which one is that? Is
That's
that the one?
outer space. It's completely ridiculous. It's fun.
I don't know. Anyways, so
it's fun.
So there's a lot of people. Like I said, Kane Hodder is in this.
There's a lot of people in
Scott
it. Those
Wilson.
are called
Where did I
actors.
see him before?
Ladies and gentlemen, the word he's looking for is actors.
No, but I don't know. Anyway, so this was a good movie. This was well worth my time to watch.
Good. I'm glad. I was like, he's either gonna hate this thing or he's gonna like it. I'm so glad it was.
It was different than what it should have been. I mean, it's different than what I expected. I expected it to be a movie, but what this was that documentary style.
That documentary style really gives it a different feel.
Who's your favorite character in this? I had a favorite. Honestly, I had a favorite character in this.
I gotta go with Robert Englund and Doc Halloran.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not going to tell you because it affects the trivia questions.
Mine is Todd. Mine is Britton Spellings. I thought the Todd character was so funny because
he's the heavy set camera guy. He was funny.
He was because he was cracking
jokes.
smart like the whole time, and I thought I really liked the movie because of him.
Now, there is another movie that this reminds me of. And I'm just trying to remember. It's not in my trivia. So it's called Man Bites Dog.
Okay.
And it's like a French movie or something. It was shot in black and white. It's very pretentious. But it is also about a documentary crew that follows a serial killer. But what makes it so similar is the serial killer in that is also kind of a charming,
really
funny type of guy. But what makes it different is throughout that film, you're reminded what an evil frickin' monster he is. This movie, it kind of creeps up on you. And you start going, oh shit, he's murdering people.
Yep. Because at first, you're right. He is charming and he's like, this is what I'm going to do. Da, da, da. Yeah. But
he owns turtles. He owns turtles.
So two
Zoe
things.
and Church.
Yep. And you know, they got those names, don't you?
Somebody read the IMDb trivia page.
Anyway, no, I just know that.
You just know that.
I just know things.
Yeah. Right.
Anyways, so real quick, I have two things.
I knew I was going to be able to get you to do that.
Two things. So now you're not going to do that trivia now. Anyways, so two things.
I got my backup.
Two things. There's a sequel coming out of this.
Okay.
Or a prequel.
I was wondering if you were going to bring that up.
Yeah.
They have been talking about that.
Yeah.
For like 10 years.
Oh, really?
And, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
But don't they have a cast in that? Doesn't it say like?
Yeah, well, it's all these the no names that were in this movie. They're available. Don't worry.
Oh well.
Take a look at his IMDb page.
Yeah.
He's looking right now at the IMDb page of
What did he
the
do?
guy that played Leslie
He
Vernon.
didn't do it.
He's an editor. He edits movies.
Okay.
This is like his only big acting thing, which he's actually, I mean,
Pretty good.
he should have an acting career. He's good in this thing. But I don't know. And that Angela, she's done very little outside of this. So it hasn't really been a launching pad, and it should have been. This should have been a franchise.
Was this ever?
Did you sit through the end credits, by the way?
That was the next
And
thing
we
I was gonna
can't talk about.
I'm not
that,
gonna. But what I'm just gonna say is that the music in the end credits is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Pay attention, or just listen to the music and just listen to the whole thing and watch to the end. Yep. You should always watch a movie all the way to the end, because those people's names on there.
Well, you wouldn't leave a game in the 6th inning.
No. But anyways, I do have a sports connection. Yeah, I did some work. You don't even have that button anymore, do you?
No, hold on. I'm getting more info on this. The sports connection?
Yep.
Hold on. I got it. Let's see if that one works.
There we go. The sports connection in this. Don't I get any kind of...
There it goes.
Okay, that's okay, though. You should have something new for me. You should have something like a foul ball hitting the pole, or a ball hitting a pole or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. But anyways.
Why do you want to hit a Polish American?
So Angela Goethals, was also in Jerry Maguire.
Okay, Susie Snowflake tells us that Kane Hodder was in a number of different movies as Jason. Friday the 13th, New Blood, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X. Oh, also in the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comic film. And 13 Fanboy, which that was a terrible movie, by the way.
Okay.
All right, so it is more than just 3. But let's talk about what the hell just happened.
You did that.
No. Somebody just followed us. Thank you for following us. You're welcome to be here. All right, so what are you going to score this, Jeff?
Do you want to take a guess?
I'm going to say 8-ish.
What? Well, you're not supposed to say it out loud.
Oh.
I'm going to give it an 8.
Yeah!
I'm going to give it 8.
Do I get points for being
no.
on the ball?
No, I really think this is a good movie. I do. I mean, it's not 10 good, because there's only a few that are 10 good. But it is so good. If you have never seen this movie, watch it.
Do you know anybody, when you told people that you're watching it, everybody goes, I don't know what this is.
Who am I going to tell? I didn't even know I was watching it until I turned it on.
That's true.
But it's a really good movie, and if anybody's listening or whatever, watch this movie.
All right. Well, you know what time it is for Jeff. Put on your news hat.
So much stuff.
Do you need to look up a score while I press buttons?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So we are going to our news segment. Otherworldly culture. That's the wrong thing. There it goes. Otherworldly culture sports.
Darn.
And the jumping Jeffs go away. All right, Jeff.
There was jumping Jeffs on there?
There were.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, that happened.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool. All right, so here we go. I have a couple quick things here. Oh, this is the sports department. My sports department. I should get like a different hat. I should they think that I went to a different room.
Yeah, I think people will be completely
bring a desk up and then I put like this and start talking. I don't know. Anyways, so back to sports.
This is another reason we'll never do a live show. I don't want witnesses.
The Brewers, the Milwaukee Brewers are still vying for a spot in the postseason with 10 games left.
Do they have a shot?
They have a shot. I mean, they do have a shot.
Okay.
4 games against the Reds, who are a terrible team. So hopefully they'll sweep all 4 of those.
Okay.
2 against the Cardinals, which if the Cardinals clinch and they're good to go, I mean, as far as winning the division, I guess, where they would have a home, they would have a bye. then I can see the Cardinals laying down for those. And you got 4 against the Marlins, who are not very good. So in all reality, if San Diego can lose a few games and the Phillies can lose a few games,
we got a shot.
The Brewers have a shot. You're saying we have a shot, just like Dumb and Dumber. You say I've got a shot.
Okay.
The Packers won last week versus the Bears and are now 1-1 on the season. They travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers this Sunday afternoon. And tonight, right now, as I speak, the Milwaukee Milkmen are in Fargo, North Dakota, face in the final game of the championship series, which is called the Miles Wolf Cup. It's a cup.
So it isn't anything golden.
No, but
I thought we were going to say this was going to be the golden bat.
Oh, we can call it that, but we know the real name.
No, that's no fun.
Why, you want to put a graphic up?
No.
Okay. The Milkmen shut out the Red Hawks last night 3-0, forcing tonight's final game 5, the best of 5 series. And right now it's sad to report that in the top of the third, the Milkmen are down 2-1.
Yeah, but there's always a lot of scoring in those minor league games.
Today
There is, right?
Last night it was 3-0.
It's nothing.
Today in sports history.
Today in sports history, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
The Milwaukee Milkmen win the Golden Bat Award.
Great. That would be great.
In 2022.
What do you think happened in 1911?
1911?
This is for my Pittsburgh fans.
It's going to be... Oh, I was going to guess Babe Ruth. Okay, 1911. Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Pirates were formed.
Nope. Cy Young wins his 511th and final game in a 1-0 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wait, that's a real person?
Yeah, Cy Young.
That's why. That's not a real
That's
name.
why the award is named after him.
Who have you ever known named Cy? That's what you kill people with, is a Cy.
Look at that. Look how I draw everything together.
You do. That's pretty cool.
1965, in front of 12,577 fans, the Milwaukee Braves played their last game at County Stadium, losing to the Dodgers 7-6 in 11 innings.
Wow.
And in 1991, I still keep it home here in Wisconsin, the Green Bay Packers became Don Shula's 300th victory. The Dolphins downed the Packers 16-13. Shula ended his career with 300 wins, 169 losses, and 6 ties. And that's today in sports history.
Woo!
Go Milkmen.
Wow.
How'd you like that?
That was pretty good. I like that.
I'll have to.
You'll have to put some work in on the shows. I know it's going to be new for you.
You know what I might get? I might get a ventriloquist dummy, and then he could do the talking.
Oh, that sounds really disturbing.
Wouldn't that be kind of cool? I could just put my sock on.
That'd be so disturbing.
I could just.
What are you doing with your sock?
I could just.
He took off his sock.
Hello.
Cover that up.
Then I would hide my head behind the microphone so they wouldn't see my lips move. Go. Hello. I'm going to give a sports report.
What the hell are you doing? Yeah. Anyway,
I gotta put my foot back into my sock.
See, that's why I could never do this on the show, because I can't reach around my massive belly.
All
Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be reviewing 1981's The Cannonball Run. Some people call it Cannonball Run. It's named The Cannonball Run. Don't forget the "the."
I don't think anybody ever calls it Cannonball Run.
Everybody seems to. This is a true crime film. Today, this would be a podcast.
This is going to be just going to enjoy these clips.
Today, this would be a podcast because it's a comedy based on a real event, which I believe the real event was called the Gumball Rally, which was actually made into a movie by Roger Corman earlier, in kind of a low budget film. And then they made the Cannonball Run. And I believe it's a guy by the name of Yates. I forget. Yep. Is it Nick Yates or something like that?
Yeah, it is.
He was the organizer of it, and he decided to write his own movie.
Brock Yates.
Based on it. Brock Yates. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Cannonball Run is. Not Cannonball Run. It's the Cannonball Run.
Gotcha.
Now, this really was an excuse for Burt Reynolds to get together with his friends and his stuntmen to make a movie. Which, this is the thing I'm going to say, and this is why
say it now.
It won't be a 10. But I seem to remember there being more stunts in this film. And there weren't as many as I remember. They have a couple wacky stunts.
Remember, you were a kid when you first saw this.
Right. But I think it's stuff like It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
That's what this reminded me of.
Yes!
Yes!
Yeah. But it doesn't have that level of stunts going on. But it's a load of fun. Now, Burt Reynolds was able to get pretty well anything he wanted made at this point in his career. He had brought in huge movies like Smokey and the Bandit, The Longest Yard, which we've done before on the show, which makes this Burt Reynolds is an alumni of Dead on the Basis. And,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Deliverance, Sharky's Machine, Gator, The End, Hooper. And then he made this flick. Now, here's what I'll tell you. Remember how I talked about last week that it was like an hour into the movie before I laughed out loud?
Yeah.
Not true with this movie. However, every time before I laughed, I said, that is so dumb. And then I laughed.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're watching this movie and you're like, I want an intellectual treat, first of all, you're the idiot. This is a dumb, let's have some fun type of movie.
Sometimes those are the best, though. You know that?
Yeah.
Sometimes those are just the best movies.
Here's a question I came upon. I'm watching this movie and I'm like, how did this not ever get made into a video game? You got all these playable characters that you can
They
do.
tried to make this into a video game.
They did?
Yes.
And it didn't succeed?
It didn't succeed. I can tell you that.
Anti-American.
It was anti-American. It was a Japanese guy that tried it.
I think terrorists.
No, it was a Japanese guy.
Now, you do need to be in the right mood to watch this.
Drunk.
I will say...
Which I wasn't.
I enjoyed the film, but not as much as when, like 5 years ago, I watched it with the director's commentary, and he sits down with Brock Yates, and they talk about the making of this movie. It is shocking how much of this movie is based on actual incidents that occurred during the Gumball Rally. And I guess they still hold these things, by the way. There isn't the racing and the speeding, which makes it the true crime story. But they have these goofy get-togethers. Oh, go ahead. You have the floor.
The popular arcade game Outrun was inspired by Cannonball Run. Legendary game designer Yu Suzuki created Outrun, though it would be fun to turn the movie into a game. Oh.
It would be fun to make
this movie. Wasn't it? But he tried to.
I cannot
Maybe
imagine.
I read it wrong.
I cannot imagine that this is the most expensive intellectual property out there. I can't imagine.
What do you mean?
I'm thinking you could buy the rights to Cannonball Run fairly cheap at this point.
Well, let's do it.
It's 40 years ago.
Let's do it.
Well, the time has passed.
Well, no, but
there should be an entire sequence called Smoking Bananas. Okay. He was caught smoking bananas. What a great freaking line was in here. I wrote down a few of my favorite lines as we went through here. It's a cornball comedy. This is a comedy for folks that enjoy the Jungle Cruise. It's corny as heck.
Wait, are you talking about this latest Jungle Cruise with The Rock?
No. I'm talking about
that was awful.
The ride.
Oh, the ride was great.
The ride.
That ride is awesome.
Now, going into this movie, if you're a younger person, let me explain a few things so you know what it is. First of all the people you are seeing are celebrities. This is before they just would have a stupid Instagram thing, and they actually had to do things. They had to have talent. They had to make movies before they would be declared celebrities. Most of them are character actors that are in here, like Jack Elam, who steals every freaking scene he's in. He's the doctor in the back of ambulance. He's absolutely hysterical.
Looks
and
like
he's
a
played
frog.
about 10,000 Westerns that he was in. You get Dean Martin. You get, I'm going to go through them in the horror
Jimmy
movie
the
roundup.
Greek, Sammy Davis Jr., Adrian Barbeau.
Also, this is from a time where people that had mustaches
That's the wrong
were
one.
actually funny.
That's the wrong one. That's from
Yeah,
2.
that was from 2.
You have a couple clips
well.
in here from 2.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to bust you out on that.
That's
not-
our.
that's-
oh, hold on.
That's the best scene in the movie.
Okay, there we go.
When a
and do you know?
a female cop comes up.
Did you recognize the female cop?
I kind of did.
It's Valerie Perrine. She was Miss Tessmacher in Superman the movie.
Oh, okay. I knew that.
Yeah,
Is that-
I had a crush for her. Almost every character, and this is what made me think this would be a great video game. Every character has their own musical theme, and it's usually
That's
like
true.
a ripoff of what they're making fun of. Because Roger Moore is in here basically playing Roger Moore. That's his character. And they have like a almost James Bond theme that they play for him. There's a real Middle Eastern type theme for Jamie Farr every time he comes in. I mean,
What about
you don't have to look up every time it's Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
It's like the and it's like, oh my God, this. By the way, if you're easily offended, not your movie. That's why I think that's why this movie has a 29 in Rotten Tomatoes.
That's why this
not
movie's so
nearly
great,
that
though. I mean,
bad. It's not as
not.
bad as people say. It's hilarious. It is very funny. Now, are you going to be proud of yourself for watching this film? No. One of my favorite lines in here, by the way, is Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin playing priests, which is hilarious because Dean always plays drunk,
Yep.
and Sammy Davis Jr. is very well known black Jew.
Yeah.
So
He even gets his
it's
chain out and goes,
perfect.
God is our co-pilot with his
Yeah.
Jew star.
And he's got a Jew star. And then Dean Martin says, our car, it only has 2 seats. Where's he going to sit? Where is he going to sit? I remember that scene as a kid. I had no idea who the hell Dean Martin was or Sammy Davis Jr. at this
Right.
point. And I'm like, that's hilarious. Who is this guy? And that's actually when I discovered the Matt Helm movies. So that was my gateway to those. Do you know the Matt Helm movies?
No.
Dean Martin made a number of like James Bond ripoffs.
Did he really?
In the 60s called the Matt Helm. There's
Oh, that'd be great.
5 movies. Wrecking Crew is really good. And the first 3 are really good. The last 2 aren't so hot. But
They just make
they're
a money grab.
funny. Actually, if you watch the Matt Helm movies and you watch In Like Flint and with not Lee Marvin, the other one. Jim Colburn. James Colburn.
Yeah.
He made In Like Flint and Our Man Flint. If you watch those 2 movies, that's where Austin Powers really came from.
Really?
Because it's over the top. And what's funny about it is those are the American James Bonds. But Austin Powers is very, very British. But it's like, it's more in the ilk of the Matt Helm. I could go on.
No,
and
I
on
get it.
about it,
I
but-
would like to
yeah.
check one of those out.
Okay, so yeah, here's the exact line, by the way, that I love. He was smoking bananas. He gets very upset when he talks to him. Him, of course, is Captain Chaos, who is Dom DeLuise's alternate identity. He becomes a superhero, pretty well ushering in the Marvel Cinematic Universe back in 1981.
Yeah, there you go.
The illegitimate. I'm shocked they haven't made a Captain Chaos film. They made one about a talking raccoon in a tree. So why not? I don't know.
Talking raccoon.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I've never seen that.
There's no baseball scene. Here's a line I liked. This was by, and it was the organizer, who I think is this Yates character. He says,
Yep.
"You are certainly the most distinguished group of highway scofflaws and degenerates ever gathered together in one place." And at one point, Roger Moore comes up with his car, and he's got a different exotic female with him every time they
every
go
scene.
to him. And they even in the credits it says Seymour's Girls.
Yes,
It's
yes,
awesome.
it does.
And none of them went on to do anything that I could tell. But he pulls up to the starting line, and he doesn't have his headlights on. And the organizer says, it might be easier with your lights on. And he looks at him and says, "Why advertise?" It's great stuff.
Yeah.
There's a cop that says, "Freeze and name your beneficiary." What a great line.
Yes.
I love it.
That was the guy in Missouri, man. He
Great
was,
stuff. Yeah, that was some great stuff. So Hal Needham was the director. He also directed Hooper and Smokey and the Bandit before this. Farrah Fawcett is about as nipply as you're ever going to see her in movies. I mean, they must have kept the thermostat real low. Dean Martin, he has a number of drinking and driving jokes that don't age very well.
no.
But there's also a lot of misogyny, a lot of just women are inferior type jokes. But frankly, if anybody should be pissed off about this movie, it should be Jackie Chan. Because they got him playing a Japanese car driver.
Yeah.
He's Chinese.
Yeah.
He's like the Chinese. He's like a Chinese superhero over there. So that they had him play a Japanese. And this was like the first time American audiences saw him was this film.
Wasn't he upset with that too? Wasn't he upset that they had him play a Japanese person?
Well, he was willing to do whatever he could because he was trying to break into the American. And look at it. It was 1981. Jackie Chan really didn't become a thing until like 2005, 2006. I mean, it took forever for people to get to know him. Now, I had found him because of a TV show on PBS that showed Jackie Chan, and they would just show some fight sequences. And my brother and I used to watch this show. It was like the Weird and Strange Picture Show or something it was called. It was about weird stuff. And, it talked about this guy that did his own stunts, and I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. And I found a VHS tape, not at Farmore, but at a different place. And I watched Police Story by Jackie Chan. If any of you have not seen Police Story, the original Police Story with Jackie Chan, you owe yourself to watch it. One of the best action films ever made.
And he does all of his own stunts.
Yeah, and he does crazy stuff. He should never do these things. You know what time it is? Here I press the button. Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, the horror movie connection.
Were there any?
So there are a few.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Burt Reynolds was in the 2002 X-Files. He was in the movie Deliverance, which is definitely a horror film. An original Twilight Zone, and he was in Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Really?
Dom DeLuise was in an episode of The Munsters.
I can see
Now,
that.
not really horror, but now there are a lot of them that I couldn't find anything. Couldn't find anything with Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Burt Convoy, though Burt Convoy did host Tattletales, which was a game show in the 70s.
Horrific.
And that was horrific. Jack Elam, I thought I'd find a lot more for because he's kind of a monstrous looking guy.
Yeah.
But the only one I could find was Creature from Black Lake in 76. But he was already a named character actor by then. So, I don't know. Farrah Fawcett couldn't find anything. Roger Moore, Jamie Farr, Jackie Chan. I was shocked. Tara Buckman did a bunch.
Yeah.
Wow. Who is Tara Buckman?
I know she is. Well, I watched the movie.
She was the blonde with Adrienne Barbeau.
She was in the purple outfit.
Yes, and she's right there on screen.
Yep.
Looking yummalicious as well. She was actually in Silent Night, Bloody Night. That's the famous Santa is a serial killer movie. She was also in Extra 2. Now, anybody that has seen Extra 1, which I have, wonders why there was ever an Extra 2. It's such a bad movie. But she was in the sequel. Yay. Terry Bradshaw. I don't think he's ever been in a horror movie, but anybody that watches his pre-show.
Wow.
Mel Tillis, him trying to do an auction would be a horror show, but no real horror
Mel
movie.
Tillis in here is funny.
Mel Tillis had a short run of comedy films.
He is funny.
Because he does do a good stutter. It's mostly real, is what I'm told.
Oh, really?
His stutter. But when he sings, it goes away.
Right.
But he does have a little bit of a stutter, but he certainly puts it on a little bit more. He was also in a movie called The Villain. Do you know that one?
No.
It's an early appearance of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is the good guy. And he's trying to take Anne Margaret. I don't know. They're on some stagecoach run. And Kirk Douglas plays the villain. And he's trying to stop these two. Okay. And it's basically a live-action Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote film.
Come on.
It's
really?
so ridiculous.
Oh, gosh.
But it's great to see young Arnold as he's trying to become an actor. But he's so Austrian and he's supposed to be a Western guy. It's like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But getting back to Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Fun film.
Yep.
Lots of laughs. Not as many as I remember with the commentary, but really a great movie. People should check it out. And that's why I'm going to also give it an 8.
There you go.
And you could see I had the 8 written down. That I would, honestly, it probably would be a 10 with the commentary.
Okay.
People should watch the commentary.
That's the one you're supposed to watch,
If you've seen
though.
this movie before.
That's the one you're supposed to watch.
If you've seen this movie before. Well, I wanted to watch it for the movie.
Yeah, I know.
And the movie itself,
Wait.
yeah, it's, sometimes you kind of go, oh, I'm so embarrassed to be watching this. The commentary helps you enjoy
What happens? I mean, I've never watched a movie with commentary. Is the commentary like as the movie's going on?
Yeah, it's basically two guys talking while the film's going.
Isn't
And they tell you more about it.
Again, I'm not trying to be funny here, but isn't it distracting? How do you watch both? How do you...
That's why you never do that the first time you watch a
Okay.
movie. It's like something like Superman. I would watch the commentary because I know the movie so damn well.
Do all the movies have commentaries?
No Spielberg movies that I know of do.
And is it normally someone that's in the movie talking?
Usually it's the director.
Okay.
Once in a while, they did get like Roger Ebert for a while, did like a ton of them. Sometimes they get like a scholar of the movie. Like I think Vertigo, they have, Alfred Hitchcock wasn't around to see DVDs. So they got some scholar to record a
Gotcha.
commentary. It was somebody like me that just knows a lot.
All right.
All right. So I gave that an 8. Oh, God, we are getting late in the show. We got to get to some exciting stuff. And you know what that means.
Horror.
It is time. No, not just
Okay,
yet.
all right.
It's time for trivia.
Wow.
Hopefully that worked. Okay. I am so ready. I am turning the chat room off for me. Wait, where is the... There it is. There's the scoreboard.
It's tied up.
Yeah, I'm plugging those in so I don't forget. All right. Are you doing trivia first?
Yes.
Okay, go.
Because you went first last time.
I
Okay.
did.
Yep. All right.
I stankied you. That's a term. Stanky.
A young Sammy Hagar credits the opening scene where the speed limit sign is 55 is graffitied out for his inspiration of his song I Can't Drive 55.
55. Okay.
Second question. That same car that's driven in that scene by Adrienne Barbeau and Tara Buckman has been included in the National Historic Vehicle Registry at the U.S. Library of Congress. And number 3, Burt Reynolds went to Florida State University. He even wears a Florida State University hat while flying a plane in this movie. Dom DeLuise's character, Victor Prezzini, is named after Burt's quarterback while he played at Florida State.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to say this movie, The trivia is extremely hard because there are so many people involved. There is so much that happened in front of and behind the...
Excuses, people.
So this is my excuse. I told my brother beforehand, there's no way I get trivia this week.
I just want to show this real quick.
Oh,
that's
a nice koozie.
That's a Mountain Dew inside of...
A Dead on the Bases koozie. Yes.
And then if you don't know where to find us, you would just QR code that.
If they see this, they know how to find us.
Oh, that's true. Okay, go ahead. Trivia, man.
I was in the middle of some really good pontification.
You're talking to your brother. You're talking to your brother.
Yeah, I told him there's no way I'm going to get trivia this week. So the first one I believe is true. The crossing out can't drive 55. That sounds right to me. So the second one... What was the second one?
The car that they actually drive.
The car that they drive.
Adrian Barbeau drives.
It could be in the National Registry. There's a lot of shit that they do.
Oh, come on, Tim. We're almost at the end here.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my fucking mistake.
Wow.
So,
the tides have turned here.
So that could be true. The third one, I thought that Burt Reynolds was the quarterback of his Florida team. That sounds right to me from The Longest Yard. But I don't know that, but it sounds right. So I am going to say number 3 is false.
Damn up there. Dun, 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 dun.
Great. That one.
There we go. That one is 100% true. The car is 100% true. The young Sammy Hagar, I made that up.
Really?
I am so proud of that,
I
too.
thought that was true. I thought that was true for sure. Okay,
I'm
here we go.
so proud of that, too.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. First one. There are cameos from the star and from some stars from Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Psycho, and Poltergeist franchises in this movie. Number 2, Scott Glosserman, the director, never made another horror movie. Number 3, Scott Wilson, he was the guy that played Leslie's mentor. Mm-hmm. Remember him? Mm-hmm. He has not been in another slasher film.
Those are tough. Those are tough.
Thank you.
Because
I worked hard at that.
Because the first one, I know that people like Kane Hodder was in there, and that England guy. I know they're in there, but no, you're going back to Psycho, so you're going back a ways.
I remember Robert Englund. He had a role in V. Remember V, the miniseries?
I remember it. I just never watched it. And I know Poltergeist is in there, so Psycho would be the only thing that would keep me off that one. Mm-hmm. Scott Glosserman, the director, never made another horror movie. That is probably, I don't know. And then Scott Wilson, Leslie's mentor, has not been in another slasher film. Has not been in another one. So after this one, he has not been in another one, is what you're saying.
I'll say he's never been in any slasher film other than this one.
Oh my goodness. See, so this is where my mind is going on this.
He's getting inside his own head. This is what happens every week.
Because
this is where I win when he overthinks.
Glosserman one.
Keep thinking about
the
this.
Glosserman one is true. Okay. Now it comes down.
That's true.
It comes down to 1 and 3.
Really, you think the director
and when people do that, you know that you're onto something. Okay. That's just like when you get really mad at something, you know that you've hit the nail on the head. All right, so that one's correct.
Don't be hitting
all right.
nails.
The thing about the Psycho, though, I mean, I saw that movie, and I mean, a cameo. So a cameo from that, the guy could be really old. But wait a second. Now, if you think about that, Scott Wilson may have been in Psycho, and he's kind of old, so he could have been in another slasher movie. So then that one and 1 would be correct. Scott Glosserman that's the false one. That's the one that's made up. That's false.
You're wrong.
Oh no!
Yes!
I know which one it is then. It's 3.
No, the false one is the first one.
It was the first one,
because of Psycho.
Oh, Jesus, man, I knew it.
Because of Psycho.
Oh, I knew that.
I thought you were going to see through it. I really did.
Initially, I did because I'm like...
And I'm like, I gotta give them something to think about. When you overthink it, that's usually your instincts are right. And when you rethink it, that's when you screw up. So I was very proud of that.
Oh, man.
I am so proud. Which means,
We're still tied.
ladies and gentlemen, we are still in a deadlock.
Oh my God.
We are in a deadlock at 15.
That was
I don't
5
think
points
this
right
has
there.
ever happened. I don't think we've ever won 2 innings and we're still lined up.
That
like
was 5 easy points. Damn it.
Oh, you could have started putting a hurt on me, buddy.
Luckily,
I have lots of scary movies for you, and you're gonna, pee your pants and stuff. So that'll be great.
Great.
Yeah. So let's look at next week's big movies. Let's start with you, Jeff. What did you assign me?
It's perfect timing. It's the end of the baseball season is coming up. The Yankees are going to the playoffs. You have
what else is new?
True, that's true. You have Aaron Judge, who has 60 home runs. He tied Babe Ruth.
Okay. Which
is pretty cool. He's only he's only like the 5th person to hit 60 home runs in a season or something like that. Yeah, because it's Ruth, Maris, and then it's Sosa, McGuire, Bonds, and now Judge. So that is 6. Brady Anderson would have had that, but he had 55 when he was all roided up. Okay. Anyways, back to this. And Babe Ruth is actually in this movie, which is kind of cool. It's a black and white film.
Okay.
Gary Cooper plays Lou Gehrig in this movie. No jokes right now. No.
Pride of the Yankees. Yeah. So this is about his homosexual activities, or no?
No.
No. Okay. So what is it?
He's about? The pride. He is what the Yankees are about. Is Lou Gehrig.
Oh.
So let's go with that. All right.
Okay.
So that's what you get next week. You're lucky.
It's a classic.
It's classic, and plus you get Babe Ruth in there. Before sports players were in movies, he was in a movie.
Well, you're lucky too because you get Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Now, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, a fantastic film.
Is it in black and white?
And apparently quite loud.
Is it in black and white?
Why did that happen? You notice how it attacks me, right? My God.
Who's attacking you?
The sound.
I didn't even get sound for mine.
I know. What's going on?
Now,
okay,
Tim.
Anyway.
Is this in black and white?
It's in black and white.
Yes.
It's a horror movie.
Yes.
And
there's bodies getting snatched.
If you think about it, this particular story has been remade conservatively 6-7 times.
Really?
And every time it gets remade, it's different. The basic idea is there are aliens that grow pods underneath people's beds, and when they sleep, they turn into those people and take them. And
oh my God.
This is the 50s version. There was a version in the 70s. There was a version in the 90s. I mean,
is this the original?
This is the original movie version of it. But every time they make it, it's kind of a little bit of a commentary on the culture at the time. And I'll be interested to see if you pick up on it in this classic film.
I think you think
starring Kevin McCarthy. I think it'll drive you nuts if you can't put your finger on it, and that's why I say it.
Okay. I don't know who Kevin McCarthy
usually
is,
or Kevin McCarthy, when you see him, you'll be like, "Oh, that guy's been in a lot of stuff. He's super old." That's how you're gonna react.
Okay.
So that's next time here on.
What? Go ahead. I'm gonna just give a sports score update.
Oh yeah, let's get that.
Quick sports score update at the bottom of the third, and the Milkmen have tied it up 2-2.
Woo!
Let's go.
All right.
Sorry.
So, and there we go. So that's it for this week's show. Whoa.
Somebody else joined? A little late, but better than never.
I don't know what just occurred. We had an explosion.
Maybe it's a body snatcher.
Yeah, it could have been. Maybe somebody did that. We want to thank all the people that came out.
Yes.
This week in the chat. We really appreciate it. What is this? Fun fact of the 960 plus HR seasons in the IBB era, Roger Maris is the only one who didn't get intentionally walked in his 60 home run season. And Jeff is typing things in real time. Yeah, that is exciting. All right, so we'll be talking a lot about baseball history next week.
Okay.
And about possible alien invasion. So that's all coming up next week here on Dead on the Bases. Remember, if you would like to share or subscribe to our show,
yes, please.
the best way is go out to otherworldlyculture.com, or you could go to deadonthebases.com. And you can follow the show with the links there. You can connect up with Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. We're still not on Spotify because
what?
You basically have to pay to get on Spotify.
Why? If they knew how good this show would be, they would just put us on.
If they knew how good the show would be, they would be begging us.
Yes, they would.
Yeah. That's true.
Word to your mother,
but
Swobet. Oh, don't forget about your dad.
You thought I was going to forget?
No.
Okay. Well, now that Jeff is saying it, a very happy birthday. Everybody saw you. Everybody. There's a microphone picking up every time you fart, which, Jesus Christ, what the hell?
Whatever.
What happened with the cheese? A very happy birthday to my father, Elmer Kretschmann. He is turning 35 tomorrow.
Nice.
And he will be attending a place where they serve adult beverages.
Nice.
Yeah. And we're going to have a great time tomorrow, and it's going to be a good time. And he has a brand new computer that he's watching tonight's show on.
Nice.
Except for he went to the bar instead. So anyway,
what's your dad's drink of choice?
It would be a Stiegel beer.
It's
an import.
Okay.
It's made with Stiegel berries.
Okay, I'm going to trust you on that. Okay, not.
It's
why.
All right. Remember, if it's sports, it's a home run. If it's horror, run home. We're Dead on the Bases, and we'll see you next time.
Otherworldculture.com. Go.
Stiegelberry.com.
There you go.
You like my singing?
Uh-huh.
I know you do. Boom, 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 boom. Had a good show, buddy.
Yeah.